Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nightcap on this Friday night, the 6th of December, 2019. I'm Roy Potter, of course, and I am here with my guests, just like I promised. Now, you're probably wondering why we're all wearing hats. I really don't know.
Bad hair day.
Bad hair day. Well, maybe for you, but you know, for me, it's just you got to have hair to have a bad hair day. Yeah, so, you know, I have my fake hair, of course. And they've been making fun of me on that all day long today, as many of you in the audience have. But at any rate, so why are we doing this tonight? What's different? Well, before we get too far along, what's my first question when we're doing a live stream? I'm worried about the sound. So the best thing that I need to have done right now is for you to tell me that the sound is good enough that you can hear. Just give me some 5x5s if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. I'll appreciate that very, very much. And then we'll know that we're all up and running. And that's going to be kind of important. Okay, sounds good, 5x5. We're good, we're on the roll. I've got the chat on, thank you very much, of course. And we're going to go ahead and get started here. So, why did I want to do this? The reason is because, ladies and gentlemen, this country is in a lot of trouble. The world is in a lot of trouble, but particularly starting here. You know, you got to clean up your own house before you can go tell somebody else to clean up theirs. And you know I've talked about that for a long time. Well, one of the things that we need to do is we need to reunite with our fellow people. We need to reunite with people in our communities, reach out even across different communities, and open our hearts and our minds and really have a relationship with real people, not just on the internet. Now, I know we're still on the internet, so don't get too upset at me about that. But you see what I'm talking about. These are real folks. These are real, everyday Americans. They're not like the assholes and the idiots in D.C., okay? And they're both real characters. I'm hoping I can get them riled up. I'm going to ask them some questions tonight. And I think you're going to enjoy this. We won't take a lot of your time, but I hope that you have a nice evening reintroducing yourself to getting to know people, because that's really the greatest and happiest thing that you can do in life is make those connections with other people. So with that little introduction to explain why I wanted to do this and to get us away from the other things, as you know I want to do on Nightcap anyway. Next week will be a whole different story. The daytime broadcasting I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be hitting it hard, and you know that. Crazy things have been happening this week. It's going to get crazier next week. But tonight, we're just here for fun and relaxation, okay? And we're going to start out with a toast, okay? And here's to the United States of America, the Republic, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
And to all of you. Okay, so here we go. So, as I said, this is George and Betty. And where I want to start off with this, of course, because everybody's going to want to know, obviously, how did they meet? Okay, that's one of the first things you want to know when you meet some people. How did you meet? And they have a very interesting story about that, and particularly about internet dating. So would you guys like to tell us a little bit about what happened?
No.
I'd like to go back in time and erase the whole thing.
Yeah, don't internet date. Don't do it. No, internet dating.
And don't forget to speak up, because it is a cardioid mic.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of people internet date, as you talk, and it worked out for us quite well. I met her, and we started dating, and
on Match.com.
Well, we don't want to advertise
But
because
we're not advertising.
They're not paying us, so no, we don't want to advertise. So an online dating site. We met, and I just got lucky. And
Well,
I know some other people have as well, but I wouldn't know what to do without her, and it was all because of the internet. A lot of people blame the internet for bad stuff.
Yeah, I've got a story about that, which I'll tell. But this is your show. But yeah.
This is good.
But this is a good story. So they're saying they had a good experience. But how about before you guys met on the internet? How was it before that?
Oy vey.
Oy vey. I didn't know you were Jewish.
There's a lot of different people out there, and you have to dig through what you find out there before you can find something that's...
The diamond.
I wasn't going to say it because you get a swollen head. She does. Quite a bit.
Got to dig through the dirt. Find some diamond.
But she was very careful when she met me. We went and set up a meet location, and she wouldn't even come inside the building until she saw what I looked like.
From previous experiences.
Yeah, well, she was parked in a car across the street, and she told about you wanted to get him outside to take a look at him. Let's hear about how that happened. Right.
But once she saw this, she was she was all right. So she came in.
Had been on some previous internet dating where you go to meet somebody, and you have no idea what you're going to be introduced to. You know, the pictures on the internet are completely different from what's present in front of you. These could be 20-year-old pictures on the internet, and you're facing somebody that's totally does not look like... of course, I'm sure many people have experienced this. So we met on our dating website and agreed to meet at a location, and from previous experiences, I decided I was going to wait across the street, hide behind a car, see who the fellow was that was going to be walking into this location where we decided to meet. And so I was hiding and saw this gentleman.
Now, that's the first time I've ever heard her, seriously,
gentleman.
Yeah, I've never heard her in the last few days call him a gentleman.
I really messed up right there. I need to back up. Dude, saw this dude.
Let's tell the truth here. We got to keep it to the truth and to what actually happened, the reality of the situation.
All right.
Lies, all lies.
This guy walks into this bar.
We went in Boston.
He wasn't even in there for 2 seconds, and he walked out, and he's going, "There ain't no chicks in there. Where's this girl?" And slowly, I was like, "That must be him." So I was creeping out from behind this car.
I thought she was a car prowler.
And I see him on the other side of the street, and he's doing this, and he sees me and goes, "Oh." So I was like, "Okay, I guess it's safe." And I, trottled across the road, and hey, you actually look like your profile. That's awesome. I'm good. We're off to a great start because we were honest with each other from the beginning, right there. So that's how it started.
Yeah. Now the next thing that happened, this was really interesting. Now it was now George's turn, and George says to her, "What about your relationships?"
Well, I think what you're boiling down to is one thing I really stated hard is I would never get married again.
Okay.
Ever.
Ever.
And I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that are thinking the same thing. Yeah. I never want to get married because of all my past issues.
And you said there were three things, three rules that had to be met.
That's true.
Right. And what were those?
Not going to be your baby daddy.
And at that point,
Not gonna...
my daughter was 17 years old.
She interrupts a lot.
And I was like, that's not an issue. I don't have a baby for you to be a daddy for. Number two.
You're not moving in with me after the first date.
I was building my own house at the time, so I didn't have a need for moving in with him.
And I'm never getting married again.
And I just gotten divorced as well, so I was like, I really don't care either. So,
but after 2 years,
let's show them off. Let's show them off.
Well, we're on the rubbers now.
Whoa! Let's rephrase that.
Where's your beeper bleeping?
I don't have one.
Well,
of
they're
those,
not. I guess they're.
She doesn't wear her wedding ring very much because it's so damn big.
I don't like it getting dirty.
Well, plus she works so hard. You know, I mean, all day long she's saying, "You do this, and you do this, and you do this, and you do this." And I got this honeydew, and I got that honeydew. Oh, she pitches in. Oh, I mean, she leads the way. I've noticed that. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, she wants to protect her
my investment.
Well, you know what they call those things, right? That's your sexual market value. And I got to tell you, she's got a rock. She has a rock, so you know what he thinks about that. Sexual market value is like, you know, to the moon. So, you know, that's good stuff. So, okay, so that's how you met, and those were kind of the circumstances that
it was kind of like, your rules are nothing to me. I don't really care because I don't need any of that. You know, let's just go play some goddamn pool and drink beer.
And we did.
And we did.
And we got along happily ever after.
And we got along great. Yeah. And it's all worked out just fine.
Yeah, and then they met me. She was calling me Spud earlier tonight. I don't really know why, but you know, I don't want to know either. But you can see she's really spry, and he's definitely his own man. So, you know, this is kind of interesting because you hear about these relationships between men and women, and a lot of them aren't healthy. And here we have a situation that I wanted to show everybody that, you know, it really can work, and we have to get back to this. We really do. And you know that's one of my main things. So now, I guess the next big thing is so how did you go about arranging things? You have your own house. He was living in a condo, and you guys had to balance this out. And then finally, you got together.
Well,
and what happened at that point?
Well, initially it was, we had met, we had been dating, everything was great. And like 6 months after, he's half asleep in bed, and he said, "I love you."
Wait, say that a little louder.
"I love you." And I said, "What?"
I believe I said that right after.
Right after. Yeah, something like that. And, you know, like guys normally do.
Yeah.
And
we can't help ourselves.
No, it's supposed to be before, because it shouldn't be after, it should be before. Right? That's the way it should be.
It should be.
That's
but
the way
it never
should be,
works out the way it should.
Yeah, right.
You know that.
So anyway, what was I talking about?
I don't know.
She's already had a little bit here tonight. We've been partying.
His whole thing, he'd been married for 15-ish years. Yeah. And never, ever, ever gonna get married ever again. Women are evil, never gonna get married until he met me. And
then he knew they were evil, but
So
I did know, and I will make her head swell a little bit. I did know that she was the one that was going to bring me out of that.
The hole.
I didn't hate women, but I was nervous and scared of women and what they could do to you once you married them.
Yeah, well, the whole Me Too movement now is proof of that, and the way the family court systems work and all those things. It can be really nasty. But so can you pinpoint? I don't want you to go through a whole list because I think you'd be here all night giving us the whole list. But just pinpoint one or two things that really stood out about her, and then you say the same thing about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, one thing I absolutely love about her is she is so independent. She doesn't need me for anything. Nothing at all. She had her house, she had her job, she had her money, she had her car. She had everything she needed. She doesn't have to have a guy. She wanted to have me.
Okay.
And that made me realize, you know what?
There's something
She's here because she likes me, I'm thinking.
This is what I'm thinking. And what I understand is you were actually a student at the time that you all met. Unemployed student. So she's looking at you, and you'd think that she'd be thinking, golly, what am I going to get out of this guy? But that's not how it happened.
No.
Yeah. So, okay, before you enter it, what's the second thing?
I knew I should have worn the low-cut shirt. That would have been so much better.
No, this right here. Just that. No.
Without this.
You know, her personality is just off the charts.
Yeah.
You know,
She steals the air out of the room when she walks in.
She really does.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. We are so much alike in the things that we do and do not like. Mm-hmm. We like to drink. We don't like loud kids or dogs.
But they're not drunks.
Cats.
I mean, I do have a story that I heard about Betty one day at a golf course, and we're going to talk about that, but not right
Witness.
yet. We'll get to that in a few minutes. So the two things were she was independent, and of course she's very attractive, and she had a good personality.
No, not so much that. I'm not saying that you have to be,
No, it's the whole package. It's the whole package.
It really is.
Right, it's the whole package.
You know,
Okay, so what did you see with George there? And by the way, I just want you to know that this is really George Lucas. I told him to take off his glasses because so now he's a little incognito, but this is George Lucas in case you didn't know. Okay, go right ahead.
So, when we first initially met on our dating website, and after we had actually met, with me hiding behind the car and watching him walking to the bar and all that stuff, and stuff. We lived in different towns, half an hour apart. So during the work week, it was difficult to see each other. So the weekends were our only time to interact and be together.
I was just going to say, I'm sorry. This is where the chat bugs me. Somebody's asking what the point of this is, okay? If you don't know, go away, okay? All right? If you don't know what the purpose of this is, I explained it at the beginning. Goodbye. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So, now I lost my train of thought.
You're saying how awesome I am now.
That wasn't polite of me but sometimes I got to take care of the bad guys on here.
So we
half an hour apart. You thought
we were half an hour apart. And I had just met him. We talked over the internet here and there, and met this one time. And this guy was just, hey, texting me all the time. Hey, you wanna come over to my place and we'll go play pool in town here but I have to drive half an hour to go and do this and hey it was just always hey and I'm like, gee whiz, what is up with this guy? He's just like won't leave me alone. And one day I actually went to his house, after he invited me into his house, and after we had met, all this stuff, and I walked over there and walked in his house, and I was taking my shoes off to get in there, because that's what I do. I take my shoes off when I go to people's houses, because I think it's rude to... I don't like people wearing their shoes in my... Shoes? Now I sound like... I don't know what. Okay. And I'm taking my shoes off, and he's just standing there, and he's looking at me, and I looked up at him, and I was like, something hit me, and I was like, wow, this guy is awesome. And, but I didn't think, I was like, this is different, and we just kept going out and seeing each other, and I respected his I'm never getting married ever again. So I never talked about any of that, but I just enjoyed the company and being myself. He's always himself. He's just kind of weird that way. What was the question?
What the question was? Well, you were just answering it. What is it that you saw in him?
Okay.
So I wanted two things. So that was the first. What was the second?
So it just our normal interaction with every time we would be together. It was comfortable. It was like you didn't have to be somebody else and pretend and try to
be on your good behavior all the time. You can be yourself. Right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So
it's hard for her to say nice things about me. That's why
and not cuss. So it's really hard for me to not cuss. I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it was comfortable. Everything it's and everybody that we know that that are friends that prior friends that see us now are constantly saying you guys are just like two peas in a pod. It's even our families are like, you guys are so much alike it's scary. Thank goodness we're not brother and sister. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, we don't want to go into that. It's a totally different show. So, we'd have Jerry Springer over here for that
one. Oh, Jerry Springer.
That's right. Yeah. No, Spud.
Spud. Yeah, Spud.
Yeah, Spud. I'm gonna have to ask you about that, but not here. It might be so embarrassing that I don't want everybody to know about that. Okay, so we found out why you found each other interesting. So you ended up getting married, and you built this place, and you.
Well, before we go farther though, so the wedding proposal.
Oh, that's right. Yes, let's hear about that.
So,
that's good.
The wedding proposal happened where her dad happened to be visiting at the time.
Okay.
And so I asked her dad for her hand in marriage. And he looked at me and he says, "What the hell are you asking me for?" That's what he said. But he was very excited, and he kept a secret. So we went to a little tiny town. It was kind of a little town where we enjoy to go and taste different foods, taste different beers and stuff. And it happened to be wintertime. They had a horse and carriage ride there, and it took me forever to get her to go on this horse and carriage ride because she's kind of a tight ass when it comes to money.
$20 for a little 5-minute carriage ride.
That 5-minute ride changed your life.
Oh.
So, I get her on this ride finally.
After all many years, two years of I'm never ever getting married ever again.
That is true.
Ever again, and I respected that and never brought it up.
That is true.
So.
Yes. So, if anybody's ever been on a carriage ride, you maybe remember that the carriage seats are this far apart. Like that.
A little more than that.
You can't really slide down and get on your knee to propose properly. So I'm kind of all wedged in the seat. I'm all down trying to get in there, right? I'm trying to get down as far as I can. And I start talking to her.
You got to be careful of your language there.
Squeeze down the seat?
That's okay, go ahead.
He is kind of bizarre, but that's okay. So I get down.
I don't miss as many innuendos as people think I do.
I hear you. And so I'm in position, as we say. And I am speaking to her, and I'm telling her, "You've made me the happiest person in the world the past couple of years," and I blah, 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 all this nice, sweet stuff that guys usually supposed to say. So, on my way to proposing, as I'm telling these nice, sweet things to her, she interrupts me, and she says, "What the are you doing?"
What the fuck are you doing? That's what I said.
That's what she
Because
said.
after many years of saying never, ever, ever getting married again, I was like, what the fuck are you doing down there? Obviously.
Lo and behold, to make the story a little shorter, I asked her to marry me. She said yes. I gave her the ring, and she slapped it out of my hand.
Well, it was like a ring pop. Like
Yeah.
a real candy ring pop kind of ring.
It was.
Like, it wasn't a real one. It was just kind of a...
It was a symbol.
And I did state to her, I am not picking out a ring for you. There is no way a guy should go pick out a ring for a lady. The lady should pick out the ring so she likes it and will wear it forever.
I think that's very neat.
That's
I didn't
my
know that
opinion,
part.
anyway.
That's
my
makes sense.
opinion. Just so.
It worked out well. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, so that's the story of George and Betty and how they met. And I'm sure that there are a lot of other things that we could talk about there. I just want to kind of interject my experience on the internet. And it wasn't nearly that good. Somebody watching tonight probably knows part of this story, and it's definitely not like that. First of all, my very first attempt at getting on the internet dating services, a very good friend of mine sent his son to help me go on the internet. And I didn't know anything about it as far as the dating services. And this was after my wife died, two years after.
I remember this too, because I remember you calling me and saying, why am I only getting contacted by guys?
Yeah.
I told you it was the wrong site.
He's a joker. That's not what really happened.
No,
He's pulling your leg on
I'm
that.
just kidding.
What really happened is that this young man comes over. He gets me on the dating site, and he says, "Well, you put your what you want in, all the different information." I did that. And then he says, "Okay, well, here are the pictures of the ladies. Do you see one there you like?" And I said, "Well, okay, I guess that one." He says, "Well, click on it." So I clicked on it. Well, it downloaded a porn site to my hard drive and crashed it. So that was the end of my internet dating experience. And it was very, very unlike this one here. Now, I know there are some better ones, but at any rate, that was my experience. So now we have one other story, and then what I think I'll do is just kind of let it be a free-for-all.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So, by the way, George is a professional. He works in the cyber field. He works in the cyber field, okay? And Betty works in, well, she's into management of large swaths of land. I'll just put it that way. We want to be a little vague, but that's basically what they do. And so they meet people all the time. So you can tell they're used to talking with people and doing that. But at any rate, I also understand that they love to play, not just pool, like when you were meeting, you like to pool, right? Mm-hmm. They also like golf. And I heard this story where they went out to play golf one day, and Valerie, her sister, managed to bring some things over for them to have on their golf game. Is that how that worked? Yeah. And then what happened is one of those things was a bottle or a jar of Fireball. Is that the way it was?
It was, yeah.
Okay, so tell us what happened at that
large
so,
bottle.
Very
of
large.
Fireball.
I cannot comment because I do not remember.
All I can say about that is it was a very large bottle of Fireball, and I didn't get any of it.
Okay, I do remember it was a hot day. We started out with some beer, and some Bloody Marys from the
golf course. Yes, that's
where
we were.
Course.
Yeah. She forgot we were at the golf course too.
And we had also taken along a little bottle of
was
Fireball, and it was a hot day, as I mentioned. So we were drinking of course we started out with the Bloody Marys because we didn't want those to go bad. And we had our beer and started drinking the beer, and the beer was gone.
This isn't going well.
And, about the 10th hole, I was really thirsty, and the only thing left to drink was a Fireball bottle, so I took a swig and took another swig and took another swig, and then we're on the 13th hole, and
so you tell us what,
take it over, because I don't remember
so
what happened after that.
Okay, well, I can start off with that by saying I have never seen somebody eject themselves out of a golf cart. We happened to get paired up with an elderly lady that was a quite regular player, and she just looked at me and told me that I needed to take her home right now. So basically that's what we did. I took her home right there. I didn't get to finish the game.
Nope.
She doesn't remember.
I think it was the 15th, 16th hole.
And we were.
I vaguely remember teeing off and my ball going somewhere, and I was on a mission to find that ball. And so I get in the cart, and this is vaguely, of course, remembering this. I don't remember the ejection part, but I do remember
looking for the ball,
being on the ground afterwards, and being asked if I was okay.
I did ask if she was okay right away, unlike when I get hurt, she just starts laughing.
But there were witnesses there saying that the cart went that way and I went that way. And apparently I was like driving along and, is that my ball? And
yeah.
I've never heard of a person being ejected from a golf cart either. So
on the
I just thought that was a terribly interesting story.
It kind of maybe sounds funny to these people, but
You have to see
it. It
it.
was really damn funny when you're there.
Yeah, to really watch it happen, I can imagine.
Because it was the funny part. I thought
Well,
the most funny part was because your hair was done up in like a bun.
I had my hair up in a bun.
And
it's,
so
it's bouncing
during
up and down
this time
as I'm riding on the golf cart, and it's bouncing up
Yeah.
and down, and then all of a sudden I go.
You get the picture. Yeah, you get the picture. That was the funniest part.
That's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
But what I don't get, how were you guys close enough to see my hair bouncing?
Because we were all playing on the same.
But I was out
Golf
there.
course.
I was out in the field, and I thought you guys were.
Oh no.
I have no.
We were maybe 20 yards away at the most.
Huh. So you were close enough to see. What did the old lady do?
Oh.
She was very upset. She was sitting there like this.
This was a lady with her own golf cart, so you know those type.
Yeah.
So she said arrivederci, and she was gone.
And well, she refused to play with us and said, "You need to take her home," is what
Yeah.
she said. So I figured she was a member, so she probably knew the rules.
We're gonna get reported.
Now, somebody here, I'm watching the chat a little bit, and some people are saying, well, does it mean that you have to drink to have a good time? And I just want to answer your question. The answer is no. These are not alcoholics, okay? I've been around them for a number of days, and I can see what they're really like. But they do relax, and I told you that this was going to be a night of levity and relaxation. Do you have to have alcohol to relax? No. But some people do it that way.
Sure.
And so let's not find fault with people that do it like that. By the way, for those of you who are Christians, Jesus said he's going to drink of the fruit of the vine anew with you in the kingdom of his Father. So he's kind of looking forward to a little imbibing himself. Okay, so that's kind of where we are on what happened and the way they met. And so what I'm going to do here, and like I said, I wanted to kind of approach it from that point because that's really what we need to do is reach out to people again. Sure. Let's look through the chat and just say, you have a lot of people saying cheers. Oh, Edelson James, you're talking about Stranahan's. Yes, Stranahan's made in Denver. It's actually, I think it's even better than Gentleman Jack or any of those. I think it really is. So.
Oh, is that a whiskey or something?
Yeah,
okay.
it's a very good one. So let's see here. You'll pardon me while I look down at the computer. You know how this goes. Let's see if they have any questions about anything that's going on here. I think most everybody's just enjoying the time of somebody else talking other than me.
Well, you know what it is like we had talked about. This is a night just to have fun and talk about whatever. No politics, no hatred towards anybody, no BS. Just having fun talking about fun times and stories, And having a drink and just chilling out and relaxing. That's what it's all about, You can't always be uptight. You can't always be angry and you have to let your hair down and just relax, or
Yep.
shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, and you guys, this couple, they travel a lot.
Well, I have my own jet.
Not extensively.
Not extensively, but often you've been to places and
we've been to places and we've seen things.
Yeah.
We have.
Now, why don't you explain to everybody what the background picture is here and why we selected that?
All right. So this is our Vegas.
Yeah. And we're having a little transmission problem here, I notice. You'll see it's a little fuzzy. Again, the fog here is kind of bad, and apparently it's starting to interfere. You guys are seeing, this is the OBS, but let me show you what they're seeing. That's what they're seeing. See how fuzzy that is? So
That's good.
It's having a little problem getting out. But at any rate, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one of our favorite places to go is Las Vegas. Many years ago, I was in a prior marriage that apparently didn't work out. But during that marriage, we went to Las Vegas, and I was talked into buying a timeshare. And I was like,
we're not selling timeshares?
no, we're not. Not at all.
You don't have one for sale now? I mean, there might be somebody out there that'll take it off your
We're not
hands.
saying we're not selling, but we're just explaining our story.
So many years ago, I got talked into buying a timeshare, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be so great for me
That
and my
was the
husband
fourth
to
thing
travel.
I liked about her.
Was what?
The timeshare.
That's the whole thing. So, but anyway, I was thinking at the time this would be a great thing for me and my husband at the time to go and travel, do things, experience other places, all that kind of stuff. So I bought a timeshare in Las Vegas. One of the best things I've ever done. Not only because now I fully use it to its full potential, but I am able to take my entire family on reunions. We book a place in Las Vegas. You know, we've had 14 rooms booked at one time. So affordable. It's just incredibly, like, people go, what? Are you kidding me?
The interesting thing here is she's talking about having her family around. How many people want to have their family around? You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. And yet here, this is how that's working out. So that's another example of really the wonderful thing that it is about being with people.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Well, unlike a lot of people, I love my family.
Let's say okay.
I'm sure a lot of people are going.
So,
yeah, me not so much.
Me not so much. Yeah. But you know, I growing up didn't see my family a lot. Didn't see my siblings a lot. We were kind of all over the place. So us getting together and being together 1 week a year is like we have the whole floor to the hotel all to ourselves. You know, everybody is just, and we're intermingling all over the place, and it's just like we're in this huge mansion, but really not. But
well, but it feels like it.
So anyway, we got this timeshare that I used to do this family reunion stuff, and it's awesome. So we love that. But not only that, but my husband and I, we take our own little vacay every year. Once a year, we go down just by ourselves, just to enjoy Las Vegas
Without the family.
Because you need some.
Yeah, you need your own time
Yeah.
together. I like to interject on that. That's the success story of a timeshare. Now let me tell you what happened to me. Okay, it's going to be very similar to the internet story I just told you. So what happened on this one is my wife and I went from Fort Lauderdale on a ship across to the Bahamas, but we didn't go to Nassau. We went to Freeport. And this was back in 2001, just before I was shipped overseas, as a matter of fact. But at any rate, so we go over to the Bahamas, and I had a wonderful time. I wasn't prepared for the additional duty costs that they nail you for when you get there in port that they don't tell you about before you get there. That was kind of bad. But the rest of the trip was pretty good, with one exception. We went over to the Xanadu. Now, the Xanadu was a hotel that was used by all of the famous people back in the 50s and the 60s, that period there. And my wife had known the people that were the management there, particularly in the restaurant, so she wanted to go see it again. So we go over there, and we're walking through it, and it's very similar. She says, oh, this is very much like it was when I was here, right after high school, when I came here to work and all this. She's telling me about it. Anyway, well, this lady comes out and grabs us, not literally, but says, hey, would you like to have a free meal? Well, I didn't know anything about how the timeshare people work. And I thought, a free meal? Why are we getting a free meal? She says, well, if you'll just come and look at this little thing I have for you to look at. She didn't tell me it was going to take 5 or 6 hours. Then we'll give you this free meal. And so, I thought, okay, well, my wife Carol's going, Roy, no. And I'm saying, yeah, we're going to do this, right? So anyway, we get in there, and then I realize what's happened. And I'm starting to look at, all of the things that they want you to do and how much money it is and all that. Well, the lady says, okay, here, fill out this paperwork and I'll be right back. Well, I took Carol's hand and we ran out of the Xanadu Hotel. So we're running down, and our car was gone. We had taken a taxi, so we were on foot. So we had to escape. We ran down to the beach, and this lady's following us, going, "Hey, stop! No, you can't go! You can't go! Come back! Come back!" We had to run into I think they call them mangrove forests. I'm not sure what those things are called, but at any rate, it's very tropical. It's not just palm trees. It's kind of almost a swamp. And so I'm dragging my wife through this swamp to get away from this sales lady. We did make the escape, by the way, but that's my experience on timeshares. So they make me a little bit nervous.
It is very similar. Every time we go into check in when we have a booking, it's, "Would you like to sign up for our special breakfast?" Mm-hmm. No, thank you. Yeah. No, thank you. We have other plans.
And being down in Vegas, let's just say we like to walk around a lot. So as you're walking around,
he doesn't normally.
That sucks. I'm not going to finish my story.
Okay, the reconnection is successful, so let me make sure that it's back online. Okay, we're back up.
We're back up.
Don't know why we lost it, but we got you back.
So, I'm not going to finish that. So what questions do you have?
Well, I think I pretty much had the questions that I wanted to talk about. Meeting people and how you all met and the circumstances, and they're just delightful. And I was looking actually to see if there were any questions from the audience here, and I don't see anything. People are.
I'm sure they're just laughing, going, "Look at these fools."
Yeah, well, it's not. They're not really saying that. They're just saying. Now, this is interesting. I don't know. Is Mount Baker about ready to blow its top again? They say that there's some vapor
they've been
coming
saying
out.
that
I've called that a couple of times, but
Oh,
that's the fifth thing I like about her.
yeah. Oh, tell the story about they have a driveway that's black asphalt, right?
Yeah, we have
so so I guess you have a slight problem saying a certain
I do.
word. And so what happened with that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's my. I was born in California. My toddler years were in Utah, but most of my upbringing I was in New Mexico. So I have a really hard time saying cock.
What kind? And this
Cock.
is yeah.
Cock. CAULK. Cock. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot say it. How do you say it?
Culk.
Cock.
Culking.
I cannot.
So you said you went into a place. They apparently have a black form of this caulking compound. So she went in and she says, "I need some black what?"
Yeah.
Cock.
Yeah.
I need some cock. I need some black cock.
That's what she was saying, yes.
Caulking compound, but
And
yeah, that got us into a little trouble.
I didn't get a good response on that. I don't know if it's my.
I still think it's funny.
it is funny. And we did this show late because this is kind of adult oriented to some extent. I heard some of these stories and I was saying, "Oh yeah, it's a good thing we're doing." So you wonder why I moved it to 9:00 Mountain Time. This is the reason why.
I get a little frustrated because I'm like, it's cock. It's cock. It's cock. Cock.
Yeah. So, anyway, long story short, we have a crack in our driveway. I need to seal it.
And I had to go to the store and explain this.
I almost
I said,
arrested.
I need to buy some stuff. We have an asphalt driveway. I need something to
Seal
it. I need some black cock. I need some black cock.
I believe we're having some technical difficulties right now.
Yeah. Oh, are we? Okay. Well, actually, we're going to take just a little break here for just a minute. And I've got a little something for you. And then we'll be back. And it won't be long after this. We'll look to see if you all have a few questions. But I want to show you this little thing that we've got here. And it'll just be a minute. And we'll be right back. Okay? So here we go. Okay, so we're back, and how did you like that little? I actually got that technical difficult, and that's a code word for saying we need a break. Technical difficulties. George gave me that just tonight, and I'm going to be using it probably quite a bit. Hope you like the picture and the music. Of course, the music is some of my own arranging there, and the picture is from Peter Sweden. He's on Twitter. He actually took that picture in Scandinavia and put it on Twitter. It's not copyrighted. He didn't say so, so I went ahead and took it and used it as part of the break there. So I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so I guess now we will move into a few more serious things. I said we weren't going to get into politics and all that, but I do think it's important that we know that there are Americans out there who have their heads on straight, and they didn't know I was going to go here tonight, so I'm kind of putting them on the spot. But I'd like them to just, each of them, just kind of say a little bit about what they feel about the condition of our nation right now and of our society in general, and just take a couple minutes to say that. You might need more time than that if you want. That's fine. But I mean, if you could give us a couple minutes at least, I'd really appreciate it.
Actually, mine's really short.
Okay.
I mean, in my opinion,
and speak up, because
the easiest way to say it from my point of view is everybody is way too serious. I know there's a lot of crap going on, but if you can't take time to laugh, enjoy each other's company without all the turmoil, without all the bullshit, what's the point, right?
Yeah, I think
what's
that's good.
the point of living every day being scared, nervous, mad, whatever? Just take time out, enjoy yourselves. Get out of town for the weekend. Shut your phones off. Don't look at news. Don't look at crap.
Maybe not do any broadcasts.
That too. Yeah, just
Next week's an exception.
The whole point of that is keep it simple, stupid. That's
Yes.
what it is.
Yeah.
Simple and stupid. Enjoy your life. Don't be sitting here getting all tied up in all the bullshit that everybody talks about every day. That's all I gotta say.
And what do you think, Betty?
It's kind of sad, but it's almost verbatim what everything he said, because we're sadly so much alike. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it's just every day is what you have, and live it to the fullest. You never know when it's going to be your last.
Yeah.
Is it?
And not to be depressing, but and just seriously, it's live, even if tomorrow's not going to be your last day. Today's not, but
yeah.
In other words,
live every day as if it's going to be your last day, and you will be fulfilled.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah.
And yet you still stand up for your principles.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let anybody walk all over me and all that kind of crap. But I also know there's a point where you have control over certain things and certain things you don't have control over.
Exactly. Yes.
And why worry yourself and stress out the stuff that you cannot change?
Yeah, there's a saying that says, a wise man is someone who knows the things he can change and the things he knows he can't, and knows the difference. The difference. And I agree
I'm not
with
smart
that.
enough to remember that, but that's exactly what I was trying
Well, I
to
didn't
say.
even say it right, but I know it's something along those lines, something like that.
Yep.
Well, good, and that was kind of another message that I wanted to get out. We can't ignore what's going on, and we want to hold our politicians' particular feet to the fire. But by the same token, if I was on the Twitter the other day. Actually, I was on YouTube. I guess that doesn't surprise anyone. But there's a lady on there by the name, I don't know what her real name is, but she goes by Blonde in the Belly of the Beast.
Oh.
And
like
very
a wonderful
intelligent.
lady.
Oh, she really is. Very pretty, very intelligent. I know some of the people here on this channel know who I'm talking about. And she's teamed up with a guy by the name of Matthew, and I unfortunately can't remember his last name right now, but they do a show together as well. And that's really worth seeing. And I'm sorry I don't remember the name of it right now. Most of you will probably be able to figure it out. Just remember Beauty in the Belly, or Blonde in the Belly of the Beast. If you've never gone to her channel on YouTube, go there. I think you'll find it extremely interesting. But one of the things that she said was exactly what we've been talking about tonight, that we have to be happy warriors. Mm-hmm. We have to live our lives. We have to do the things that are really important, even if we feel the necessity of standing up and doing the things that we can accomplish. And that the most important thing, of course, is to cultivate our relationships. That is the very most important thing. Don't let the evil side pull you away from it so far that you don't do the thing that really is the most important. And Alex Jones, you guys don't really know who that is, I don't think. But Alex Jones said it another way. He said, if you look too long into the abyss, you become the abyss.
That makes sense.
And so I'll end on that tonight. I'm going to look through the chat here just for a couple of seconds. Matt Christensen, thank you, Liza Jean. She's one of my moderators. She's always... Liza Jean is great. Headlines with a Voice is great. K. Smalls is great. Edelson James is great. Roosevelt's great. You guys, I just appreciate it.
We're great.
They're great too.
We're fucking awesome.
These people that are my moderators are just so wonderful. So I want to thank them for what they've done tonight. And
which
like
wasn't
I said,
much, but hopefully we made people laugh.
Yeah, well, and enjoy it.
We can have more stories. What else can we have?
And nice cover, Roy. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but this is actually George's. He let me borrow it. I've never had a fedora, especially not one like this.
It looks good on you.
Well, I might change. I usually wear the ball cap, so I'll probably go buy one of these. Maybe not the exact same color.
Looks good, eh?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. And like I said, this was a night of just a little levity and relaxation and kind of renewing and getting new relationships, new friendships, new contact, and reconnected. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. I want to thank everybody for coming. I will see you, and anytime something happens that I need to put up an impromptu, I will do that. And next week, until they knock me off of YouTube, which will probably happen on December 10th, which is another reason why I've done
Or after this show.
Or after this show, yeah. I will be putting out some pretty serious stuff next week, as long as they let me, okay? So we'll see you then. I want to thank everybody again for coming. God bless you. God bless yours. Of course, I've already done all the Merry Christmas stuff and the Happy New Year and the, Happy Hanukkah and whatever else is Happy Holidays for this year. But from now until next week, be safe. I saw that BP Earthwatch was here. Thanks for coming, Jesse. I know some of this may have blown you out of the water too, but like I said, we need to lighten up a little bit. And so that's what we've done. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to go, and here is the closing credits, and we'll see you next week. I want to thank George and Betty for coming and opening up their lives to us and letting us be our real selves with our hair down and enjoy our company.
Down?
Yeah.
No,
Okay. We're out here. Say bye, everybody.
Adios.
Bye-bye.